Kunjavihare. Jaya Radha Madhav, Jaya Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Jaya Radha Madhav. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Haribol, 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 Haribol. Jai Vishnu Pad Paramhamsa Parivrajak Acharya Ashtatara Shata Sri-Srimad Abhay Sharanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Iskcon BVD Founder Acharya Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai Vishnu Pad Paramhamsa Parivrajak Acharya Ashtatara Shata Sri-Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki. ग्रंथराज श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की समवेत गौर भक्तविंद की श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. So we are very fortunate to have amongst us His Holiness Bhakti Prachar Parivrajak Swami Maharaj. Hare Bo. So Maharaj joined the Iskcon movement in the year 1996, attracted by the teachings of Srila Prabhupada. He completed his bachelor's degree in commerce from St. Xavier's College, Calcutta in the year 1993. He was a chartered accountant and cost accountant by profession. After completing his studies, he dedicated himself fully to the service of Iskcon, especially in Sridham Mayapur. He offered significant services at Iskcon Mayapur in various leadership and management positions. Maharaj is a natural preacher, so he was attracting many souls by his intelligent presentation of Krishna consciousness. He started and developed college preaching, Bhakti Vriksha preaching, and many other outreach activities at Iskcon Mayapur. He has been serving as a traveling preacher of Iskcon Mayapur, spreading the glories of Mayapur Dham and the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world since the year 2006. In the year 2018, he came out of the management services of Iskcon Mayapur in order to give more focus on preaching, outreach and scriptural education. His preaching services include training and development of youth and Bhakti Vriksha groups for Iskcon Mayapur and other centers of Iskcon. Maharaj was awarded sannyas initiation by His Holiness Jaipatak Swami Maharaj on 3rd September 2022 at Sridham Mayapur. Apart from preaching services, he is serving as Regional Secretary of Iskcon India for Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Meghalaya and Arunachal Pradesh. He is also serving as Chairman of the Iskcon Bhagavad Mahavidyalaya at Sri Govardhan Dham. He is also involved in the service of promotion and development of Navadip Mandal and Gaur Mandal Bhumi. So we are very fortunate to have Maharaj amongst us. Let us heartily welcome Maharaj by once loudly chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Thank you, Maharaj.
Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स पदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरौ श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदनाय कृष्णप्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरतिष्ये नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So tomorrow is Akshay Tritiya. Tomorrow is also beginning of Chandan Yatra. So I thought today and tomorrow, instead of Srimad Bhagavatam, we'll be speaking from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Is that okay with all of you? With your kind permission and blessings, we'll try to discuss from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 4. Chapter is entitled Sri Madhavendra Puri's Devotional Service. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So we'll be chanting the text number 186. It's there. You are comfortable chanting Chaitanya Charitamrita verses? Okay. Progharo premere sabhavo achar নিজ দুঃখ বিঘ্নাধীর না করে বিচার প্রগাঢ় প্রেমের এই স্বভাব আচার নিজ দুঃখ বিঘ্নাধীর না করে বিচার প্রগাঢ় প্রেমের এই স্বভাব আচার নিজ দুঃখ বিঘ্নাধীর না করে বিচার। Mataji's Vaishnavis. Proghara, intense. Premera, O love of Godhead, of love of Godhead. A, this. Sabhava, natural. Achar, behavior. Nija, personal. Dukha, inconvenience. Vigna, impediments. Adir, and so on. Na, not. Kare, does. Vichar, consideration. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. This is the natural result of intense love of Godhead. The devotee does not consider personal inconveniences or impediments. In all circumstances, he wants to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. It is natural for those who have developed intense love for Krishna not to care for personal inconvenience and impediments. Such devotees are simply determined to execute the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his representative, the spiritual master. In all circumstances, even amidst the greatest dangers, they undeviatingly carry on with the greatest determination. This definitely proves the intense love of the servitor, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.8, Tatyanukampam susavikshamanaha. Those who seriously desire to get free from the clutches of material existence, who have developed intense love for Krishna, are worthy candidates for going back home, back to Godhead. An intense lover of Krishna does not care for any number of material discomforts, scarcity, impediments, or unhappiness. It is said that when one sees apparent unhappiness or distress in a perfect Vaishnava, it is not at all unhappiness for him, rather it is transcendental bliss. In the Sikhastak, verse number 8, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also instructed, Aslishava Padaratang Pinastumam. The intense lover of Krishna is never deviated from his service despite all difficulties and impediments brought before him. Mukam karati vachalam pangullanghaite giring jat kripa tamaham vande Sri Gurung Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Isharam. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much for coming for Saturday morning Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita class. So Krishna loves festivals, and every moment in Golaka Vrindavan is a festival. Utsav. Utsav means performance of those activities by which you can go beyond distress. That is the meaning of Utsav. So why there is festival at every moment in the spiritual world? Because there is no distress there. Naturally, everything is a festival, right? If someone walks, it becomes dance. If someone speaks, it becomes a song. Very wonderful. That is the expression of ecstasy. That is the expression of love. That is the expression of happiness. That is the expression of transcendental bliss. That's why everything is so wonderful. At the same time, in the material world, that love can be exhibited. Same love, which is exhibited in the spiritual world, can be exhibited here in this material world also. Because Mahaprabhu has taught us the purpose of our life is to develop love of Godhead. Aradha Bhagavan Brajasatanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramma Kachitupasana Brajabudhu Vargana Jakulpita. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Premapumartha Mahan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam Tatradara na paraha. What is the conclusion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching? Is very simple. Everything is high class, topmost. So Mahaprabhu is telling our worshipable Lord is Krishna. Which Krishna? Brajendanandan Krishna. So Mahaprabhu is also telling which one is our worshipable abode? Vrindavan. What is the topmost position? What is the topmost thing in the spiritual world? Gopis' love for Krishna. The way Gopis worship Krishna is the topmost. What is the proof? That is also topmost proof. Bhagavatam is the topmost proof. Spotless Purana. And what is the goal of all life? What should be the goal of all life? Prema, love of God. This is the conclusion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his teachings. So it's difficult to understand Mahaprabhu's teachings. Very simple, very straightforward. But the problem is with us. It becomes difficult to practice considering these conclusions as the focus of our life. So prema, love of Godhead, is the goal of our life. Prema pumartha mahan. That is the purpose of this Krishna consciousness movement. That is the purpose of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's advent in this world. Mahaprabhu came to give that love. Anarpita charing chirat karunaya avatirna kalau samarpaitim unnata ujjala rasang sabhakti shriyam Hari purata sundara duti kadamba sandipita sada hidaya kandare spuratuva Sachinandana. Sachinandan Gaurhari came to give something which was not given for long time. For how long? Long time. It has not been given. And what was not given for long time? Unnata Ujjala Rasa. What is that? Braja Prema Bhakti. Prema Bhakti is given, but Braja Prema Bhakti is given only by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Golokera Premadhan Harinam Sankirtan. The holy name given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes down from the spiritual world, not from the spiritual world, the topmost region of the spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavan. Holy name is available in every Kali Yuga. Holy name is available in any Yuga. But the Nam Sankirtan given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very special and is very rare. That's why it is explained, it was not given. Only Mahaprabhu comes and gives. Because Mahaprabhu comes only once in a day of Brahma. Very important lesson. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhunang vinashaya cha duskritam dharma samasthapanarthaya sambhavami yuga yuga. But he does not come in every yuga. But he is telling yuga. Right? Krishna comes kalpe. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead does not come in every yuga. Krishna comes once in a day of Brahma, in Dwapar Yuga. And following Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes. Lord Ramchandra also does not come in every yuga, every Treta Yuga. He comes also once in a day of Brahma. Nishingadev also does not come in every Satya Yuga. He comes only once in a day of Brahma. Lagu Bhagavatamrita, Rupa Goswami explains all these details. So these are the very rare features of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But fortunately, we received this fortune, knowing all these wonderful personalities of Godhead, which appear or who appear only once in a day of Brahma. So are you not fortunate? Very fortunate, but unfortunate situation is that we don't feel we are fortunate. That is the greatest misfortune, that we don't feel fortunate. That is a symptom of Kali Yuga actually. Nobody to be blamed. So here in this verse, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is talking about the symptom of love. Not only symptom of love, symptom of intense love. Progharo premer. This verse explains, Progharo premer ei swabhava achar. The characteristics, symptoms of intense love is what? Nijo dukkho vignadir na kore vichar. He does not consider his own personal inconveniences. It is written here, this is the natural result of intense love of Godhead. The devotee does not consider personal inconveniences and impediments. In all circumstances, he wants to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nitya. The symptom of love is, it is uninterrupted. Savai pungsang paro dharma jato bhaktir adhakshaje ahituki apratihata jayatmasu prasidati. Srimad Bhagavatam explains, Suddha Bhakti has two important characteristics. Ahituki and apratihata. Apratihata means uninterrupted. Very, very important aspect. Just like the river, when it flows towards the ocean, no obstructions on the way can stop that flow. And that is the nature of Suddha Bhakti, pure devotional service. Apratihata. And that is the topic here. So here is also explained that any inconveniences, any discomfort, any scarcity, nothing can stop the loving devotional service towards Krishna, and Prabhupada also is telling, and to his representatives, the spiritual masters. So therefore, love has to be uninterrupted, not conditional. No conditions apply. In this material world, always some conditions are there. I love you based on these conditions. Right? That is not love. That is perverted reflection of love. Atmendriya priti vancha tare bole kam, Krishnendriya priti ichha dhare premana. Very simple definition. Atmendriya priti vancha. When the desire is to satisfy our own senses, that is known as lust. But when the desire is to satisfy the senses of Krishna, that is called love. Atmendriya priti vancha tare bole kam, Krishnendriya priti ichha dhare premana. So that is love. And love is the perfection of bhakti. Siddhi. One is sadhana. Bhakti has two aspects. Sadhana and siddhi. What is sadhana? Ado shraddha tata sadhu sangha bhajana kriya anartha nivriti nishta ruchi asakti. Up to this is sadhana. Then bhava is in between. Then prema is siddhi. Perfection. So perfection means love of Godhead. How to identify someone has attained perfection in his spiritual journey? He has developed love of Godhead. So this topic has come because this chapter of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita talks about love of Sri Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri is the spiritual master of Ishwara Puri, who is the spiritual master of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Madhavendra Puri started the process of worshipping Radha and Krishna. That's why his position is very, very special. Because our worshipable Lord is Krishna in Vrindavan, not in Dwarka, not in Mathura. Why? Why is that? People say you are too much focused. Definitely. Focus is very much important. When you do PhD, it has to be focused only. High school studies, a lot of subjects, no problem. College, less subjects. But PhD, not subjects. A topic. Focus, right or wrong. So love of Godhead is the PhD of our spiritual life. So it has to be focused. Whom you love, I love anyone. That is a proof that we don't love anyone. If someone is asked, who is your husband? Anyone? Who is your wife? Anybody? So, we say we love God, but we don't know who is God. Right? Anybody is God. So, to love God, we have to know who is God first. That's why Prabhupada has introduced very wonderfully. Even if a person coming into Iskcon for the first time, the first day it will be very, very clear to him who is God. Right? There will be any confusion if someone enters into this society. Who is God? Name itself is revealing that. Who is God? That's why when Prabhupada registered this society, some of his followers thought that Krishna consciousness may be too much focus. So better to have some generic term, God. Prabhupada said there are a lot of confusion in this world, and most confusions are in the field of God only. So I have established, or I will establish a society not to create confusion. I am establishing the society to clear the confusion. And name itself will clear the confusion. Who is God? Very good. Krishna is God. And Mahaprabhu is telling more specific. Krishna, not in Dwarka, not in Mathura. It should be in Vrindavan. And not only in Vrindavan. In Vrindavan there are so many devotees. So Krishna with gopis. Especially Srimati Radharani. That is the worshipable Lord of the Gauriya Vaishnavas. Clear? Aradha Bhagavan Brajasa Tanaya Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramma Kachit Upasana Brajavadu Vargena Jakalpita. So our love should be directed towards Krishna in Vrindavan. Preferably in the mood of Madhurya. So that is very, very specific. So Madhavendra Puri established that process of worshipping Radha and Krishna. So now we'll discuss the subject matter of the verse, that impediments, unhappiness, problems, scarcities, difficulties are the integral part of our material existence. So difficulties will be there. Whether one is a devotee or not a devotee, whether one is a sadhaka or not a sadhaka, whether one is a siddha or not a siddha. Everybody has to go through difficulties. But sometimes devotees think, oh, so much difficulties, better take shelter of Krishna, there will be no difficulty. Right? That is the big difficulty in understanding. Because Krishna has said, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam saranang braja. Aham tang sarva papebhya moksha Swami masachaha. So Krishna has already declared very boldly, just surrender unto me, don't worry. I'll take care of everything. So what does that mean? So naturally, devotees think, as soon as I surrender to Krishna, there will be no difficulty in life. Right or wrong? What is your understanding? What is your understanding? So when you surrender to Krishna, there will be difficulties or no difficulties? So you'll analyze that. That's the topic. There's a topic. So in this world, people are governed by laws of karma. If you do good karma, you get good results. If you do bad karma, you get bad results. So somehow in this world, people are bound to be in the situation of unhappiness because of the karma. Right? And I don't have to explain in detail. We are all experiencing that. We are all experiencing the miserable conditions of this world. So then, someone who has surrendered to Krishna completely, then what will happen to him? As per the instruction of Bhagavad Gita, there should not be any miseries. Krishna said, I will take care. I will completely take care of you. So complete surrender does not mean complete purity. Even someone surrenders completely towards the lotus feet of Krishna, even after that there will be certain subtle impurities in the heart. And that happens at the level of ruchi asakti. At that level, a devotee is completely surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But even at that level, there will be impurities, subtle impurities. But Krishna wants that his devotee should become completely pure. So he wants to make sure that this devotee who is fully surrendered now becomes completely pure. How to do that? Krishna puts that devotee in difficult situation. Krishna provides that difficulty. Why? If we are in comfortable situation, comforts attract impurities. Difficulties are very favorable to purify. Krishna knows that. Just like if you have to check the purity of gold and goes to a goldsmith, the goldsmith generally put that gold into acid, not in water. So acid means some unpleasant experience. In the same way, Krishna is also very expert goldsmith. And he puts the devotees into that condition, uncomfortable, unpleasant condition like the acid, to purify his subtle impurities. Okay? That's why people think, why devotees are in difficulty? Even the fully surrendered devotees are in difficulty. Why? Because Krishna is doing that to purify him. Then after all, he becomes completely pure. Then what will happen? No difficulty. More difficulty. Why now? Krishna wants to intensify the love of his devotee. So to intensify the love, Krishna puts the devotees in more difficult situation. Then love becomes intensified. Then what is the next? Then Krishna wants to demonstrate, he wants to preach Krishna consciousness through his pure devotees. And he wants to show to the whole world, see how pure devotees respond in difficult situations. That's why he is the devotee is put into more difficulty. And this life, this example of Madhavendra Puri shows that level of love. So Madhavendra Puri is a pure devotee, is a Mahabhagavat, Paramhamsa, not affected at all what's going on in this world. And this verse is spoken to indicate Madhavendra Puri's love. So Madhavendra Puri, although he is a Mahabhagavat, but Krishna is teaching through him what is the meaning of that love. Love does not mean its inactivity. Love is demonstrated through practical activities. Bhakti means, Prabhupada has translated Bhakti means devotional service. It's not inactivity. Sometimes devotion means no action. People get confused also. What do you do? Right? Many people come to Mayapur Dham, Iskcon Mayapur, and they ask, what do you do whole day? We only see you just sing and dance. You have any work here? People cannot understand. Just like when Prabhupada started the movement, he said, in order to be initiated by me, you have to follow 4 regulative principles. No meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. Then people that time responded, then what will you do then in life? No, nothing is left to do. So that's why people have a conception that if you enter into devotional life, means no activity. But devotional life is full of activities with lot of bliss. That's why people, they work so hard to be happy and they cannot become happy and they are not happy. And when these devotees are so happy and not doing anything according to their calculation, they become very frustrated. How? You are so happy. Prabhupada used to say that devotees should be happy. If someone is not happy, then there is some problem in his practice. Because devotional service is for experiencing happiness. Right? Even in difficult situations. Difficulties will be there, whether someone is a devotee or not a devotee. See the life of Pandavas. And now the example, the glaring example is coming. Prahlad Maharaj. What a torture he went through. Right? What a torture. Then people think, oh, then what is the point being a devotee? If I am not a devotee, difficulties. Even if I become devotee, difficulties. So why to become devotee? What do you think? It's a good logic or not? Very good logic. But it's a material logic because they don't understand. Srila Prabhupada is telling that it looks like difficulty for ordinary people. But for a devotee who is fully surrendered, difficulties of this material world increase their spiritual ecstasy. That is their level. Because a devotee who is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness is completely unaffected by the difficult situation of this material world. That is the symptom of love. Prahlad Maharaj was completely unaffected. Why he was completely unaffected? Because he was completely absorbed. Absorption is very, very important. But absorption will come when we maintain purity in the heart. Unless heart is pure, it is very, very difficult to be absorbed in Krishna consciousness. So absorption is the key. So where is our mind? Krishna consciousness is nothing external. The quality of Krishna consciousness is determined how our mind is situated. Rupa Goswami says, what is the symptom of love? Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. We have to check. Sometimes we ask, how to know whether we are advancing or not advancing? This is the way to measure. How many hours a day we are remembering Krishna? What to talk about other time? Even during chanting time, it's difficult to remember Krishna. Mind goes here and there, and during chanting, mind becomes more active. Right? Those who are having more passion, during japa time, mind becomes restless. And those who are influenced by tamoguna, mind thinks now is the time. Take full advantage of that time. Sleep. But generally, people's mind goes here and there during japa time. Why? Because that time other senses are inactive. And mind thinks it is now my time. Let me act properly. That's why during japa time, mind becomes very restless. But our goal is to fix the mind in Krishna. Right? So unless and until we develop that absorption, this kind of situation cannot be experienced. So any difficulty will come, we will become disturbed. Even if difficulty is not there, anticipating difficulty, mind will be disturbed. And nowadays mind is easily disturbed. Without anything, mind is disturbed. Anxiety. Mind is full of anxiety. Kya hoga? What will happen? What will happen? Right? Anxiety. Chinta. क्या होगा? भक्त लोग भी पूछते हैं क्या होगा? तो कृष्ण ने तो बता दिया. Krishna has already spoke. What will happen? What will happen? Jatosya dhruva mityur dhruvang janma mitasya cha. Those who have taken birth, they are going to die. Any confusion? Still we feel what will happen? That will happen. It's just a matter of time. Just wait. But no. Before that, what will happen? Old age. Before that, what will happen? Disease. And whole life, anxiety. That is the essence of life. Right? Take birth, anxiety, old age, disease, and die. That's why people say, then what's the point? Chinta, chita. Two things. Chinta means anxiety, chita means funeral pyre. Which is better? When I asked to the new people, they said, chita is better. He said, why? One time. Because both chita and chinta burn. But chita, funeral pyre, burns only once. But chinta burns us constantly. We are burning. Samsara dhaba, we sing. But how much you are experiencing that? The acharyas are experiencing it. That's why they are singing. This world is like that, full of fire. Fire of material existence. Anxiety. What will happen? What will happen? What will happen? Why you are not able to experience the bliss of Krishna consciousness? Because our mind is in anxiety. We live in future. That's why we miss the presence of love at the present moment. Very difficult for us to live in the present moment. Why? Because mind will drag us into the future. Because mind is in anxiety. And that's why we miss the whole point of Krishna consciousness. We are supposed to experience love of Godhead. We are supposed to experience bliss of Krishna consciousness. But we are not able to do that. Why? Because mind is going in the future. That is the nature of the mind. So this situation that love will be undisturbed. A person who has love will be undisturbed in any material situation. If we are disturbed by material discomforts or inconveniences, difficulties, challenges, that is the proof that we have not developed love. A lover of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is never disturbed, even in the most dangerous situation. Example is Prahlad Maharaj. Example is Haridas Thakur. They have shown by their own example. Most difficult situation, about to be killed. Prahlad Maharaj was attempted to be killed by so many means, but he was completely undisturbed. How it is possible? But for us, those who are not at that level, small things, we become disturbed. Right? We get very easily disturbed. Kali Yuga, we become very easily disturbed. Because that is a symptom of Kali Yuga. Prayana alpaisha sabho kalo asmin yuge janaha manda sumanda matayo manda bhaggahi upadruta. The people in this world, in Kali Yuga, are very easily disturbed. Why? Because mind is not absorbed in Krishna. Mind is not focused in Krishna consciousness. That's why mind becomes very easily disturbed. But the love means mind is focused in Krishna. How to serve Krishna, how to please Krishna. Mind is always absorbed in that. And that absorption makes the shield by which no material inconveniences can disturb the devotee. So this is very, very powerful. Absorption in Krishna is very, very powerful. So tomorrow we'll discuss the journey of Madhavendra Puri, how the journey began. So journey began at Govinda Kunda, at the foothill of Giriraj, Govardhan. So Madhavendra Puri's journey began from there. And the narration was started by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after taking sannyas, he came to Jagannath Puri. And he stopped at a place known as Remuna, a place of Gopinath. So that place is the place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was narrating this pastime of Madhavendra Puri. So we'll discuss that in detail tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Any question, comment?
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Maharaj, for such a beautiful class. So many lessons to learn. You gave us the solution that we have to absorb in Krishna consciousness to overcome difficulties. So as a sadhaka, we try our best, but still mind wanders. So can you give some solutions so that we can apply it in our daily life to be absorbed?
Absorption will not come to a sadhaka. That's why you are sadhakas. The sadhaka's business is hearing, not remembering. A sadhaka should hear more. Then when he becomes more advanced, then he should chant more. And after that, when he becomes more advanced, he remembers more. It's a gradual progression. Whereas a disturbed mind will be peaceful when we hear the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from realized persons. That is the process. Okay? You have to hear. Any other point? Mike, did you?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you very much for inspiring lecture. Maharaj, you mentioned that focus cannot come until unless we fix on one single personality. For example, in Krishna consciousness, as you said, it is Vraja Krishna. So, but if you see Bhagavatam, other than 10th canto, most of the times the description is about Lord Vishnu and his devotees. So there also a lot of emphasis is given about other forms of the Lord. So we also hear from the devotees about glories of other forms of the Lord. So in that process, being a Gaudiya Vaishnava, how we can always be fixed only on Vraja Krishna form, and also being a sadhaka, we have so many distractions.
Yeah, we cannot achieve perfection in one day. PhD, I want to get a PhD. You enter into some PhD institute, I want a PhD. So have you done your school studies? No. Have you done your college studies? No. But I want PhD. So the discussion, whatever we are having now, is a PhD subject matter. That's why Prabhupada said Bhagavad Gita is the high school study. Bhagavatam is university study. And Chaitanya Charitamrita is the PhD study. So you have to go one by one. If you want to become eye specialist, before that you have to complete your school or not? No, I want to become eye specialist. So that focus will be there, but you have to go through the process. The process is Bhagavad Gita, then 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then when we have sufficient maturity, then we enter into 10th canto. Or if you jump into 10th canto, then who jumps? Jumping is not a good activity. So that happens to the people. Oh, jump. Oh, Mahaprabhu said, Aradha Bhagavan, Brajasatane. So here is the need of other forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he said, Brahma Kachit, go to Raslila section. And what will happen? His spiritual life will be completely doomed. So you have to go step by step under the guidance of a proper qualified teacher. Then we can achieve that level. Okay? Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, you were talking about how we are worried about future or past, and we are not in the present experiencing love of God. So how I can actually practice this?
That's why mind has to be controlled. If mind is under control, then we can focus in the present. But now mind is like a pendulum. It does not stay either this side or that side. Dwell in the past or in the future and miss the real life. That is the nature of the uncontrolled mind. That's why as a sadhaka, we have to control our mind. That is the basic. The Bhagavad Gita begins with that. Control the mind. And how to control? Process is very simple. Abhyas and Vairagya. Practice and detachment. Withdrawing the senses from sense objects and engaging the senses in the service of the Lord. Two things should go on simultaneously. Then mind will be under control. Okay? Sadhana Bhakti. It's clear? Or you need more explanation?
Also, one thing was that Miss Krishna's mercy is everywhere, but we become ignorant and we are not conscious of His mercy. In the sense, like while chanting also, we are not present, in the sense our mind is wandering. So, Miss, how can a sadhaka be more conscious of Krishna's mercy so that he can absorb himself in the devotional service.
There are different steps. So what is the beginning?
As you said, Shravanam, hearing.
No, before that is another step. Remain awake. That is the first step. I give the example, night security guard. What is the first qualification?
Awake.
Awake. Other details after that. So for our japa also, what is the first step? Remain
Awake.
Then hearing. Then focusing. Then experiencing. Different levels. But we are stuck in the first level only. Very difficult to remain awake. Japa time, very good time for sleeping. Right or wrong? That's our level. Somebody came to Prabhupada, how I can remember Krishna while I am sleeping? So Prabhupada said, what you are remembering when you are awake? So we are not able to remember Krishna during our awakened state, but we want to remember Krishna during our sleeping state. We have a very high desire, but we have to know what's our level. First desire, then desire. We don't want anything, only love of Godhead, Braja Prema Bhakti. But what's our qualification? That's why you have to start. So first qualification is remain awake during japa and during Bhagavatam class. If you can do that nicely, then next step will come. Okay?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, you told that the devotee surrender is completely surrender when he reaches to the level of asakti and ruchi. So, but we also hear that when at the stage of nishtha, he is fixed up in his devotional service. So,
it's fixed up, but not completely surrendered.
So, Maharaj, sometimes also we see that while we are performing those devotional services, although we may be engaged, but we are not completely able to remember Krishna at that time. So, is that the stage in the nishtha where he is engaged but not able to remember Krishna? So,
No. Remembering Krishna all the time is the symptom of Prema Bhakti. Perfected devotees always remember Krishna. Sadhaka cannot remember Krishna all the time. Prabhupada said that, what is the symptom of a pure devotee? Prabhupada said, who never forgets Krishna. That is a symptom of pure devotee. Okay? So who is having love of Godhead, he remembers Krishna all the time. But a sadhaka, it's not possible. It increases. Shraddha, sadhu sangha, bhajana, kriya, anartha, nibriti, nishtha. Nishtha level remembrance is also good. Then ruchi, more remembrance. Asakti, more remembrance. Bhava, almost perfect. Prema, complete remembrance. It's a gradual progression of our spiritual journey. Okay? It's clear?
thank you.
Okay then. Question? Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, just you were saying that Mahaprabhu came to give the God of love of Godhead. So Mahaprabhu, if we'll perform Krishna Bhakti, we'll go to Golok Vrindavan. So Mahaprabhu also came from Golok Vrindavan.
He came from Goloka Navadvip.
So if we'll perform this devotional service, we'll go to Navadip or this back to Golok Vrindavan.
It's up to you. Where you want to go? You can go in both places. Just like Rupa Goswami, he is in Golok Navadip, also in Golok Vrindavan. Choice is yours. Okay?
Thank you.
Any other question? Okay then, we'll end here. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.